안녕하세요. Salut. Hola. Ciao. Merhaba. Darova. Konnichiwa. Ni hao. And namaste. My friend. I hope you're doing well. Because I am. And today, I'm going to be doing just some facts about February because I thought it would be interesting. Since I don't know, I have like experienced the month of February 21 times now, but I've never really known a lot about it, except for, I don't know, that it's the shortest month of the year and just some general knowledge. So, anyways, hopefully I'll be an enjoyable experience. And all you gotta do is sit back, relax, and enjoy. And so, as I said, February is the shortest month. But this year, in case you haven't noticed, is a leap year. Which means that instead of February having 28 days, it has 29. And I've never actually met a person, or maybe I have once, but I kind of forgot about them, whose birthday was on the 29th. And it's quite interesting because they only get to really celebrate their birthday every 4 years, which is when a leap year occurs. So they're technically 1/4 of their actual age. But anyway, moving on. February is named after the Latin word februum, which means purification, reflecting ancient Roman purification rituals held during this time of year. Now, I don't know what kind of purification rituals they went through, but I think everyone can use the month of February to purify themselves. I don't know what or how necessarily, but I'm definitely gonna maybe not necessarily purify, but definitely change or improve some stuff. And I think it's better to use the start of a month instead of something like a New Year's resolution, because you kind of get that reset more often, more or less every 30 days. The birthstone for February is amethyst, symbolizing sincerity and spiritual wisdom. Now, I gotta say, I do like amethyst, but I don't know a whole lot about birthstones. But what I really like is the purple color of it. Or, I don't really know if it's purple or violet. It also says that February's flower is the violet, representing modesty, faithfulness, and virtue. Then we've got Valentine's Day, which is February 14th. And obviously, the Super Bowl. But I've got to say that I don't really watch football or soccer or like the stuff they watch in sports bars or something like that. I do watch, or I don't really watch, but I do like watching table tennis or fencing. I think those are way more interesting. I also used to play table tennis for a very long time, so it's always crazy to see the professionals play it, because it's also very different from something like soccer, I feel like, because in table tennis, it's mostly individual skill, whereas in soccer, it's more of a team effort. And so you can clearly see a difference between lower level and high level players, because It's more individuality. Next up, we have the Chinese New Year, also known as the Spring Festival. Falls in February, marking the beginning of the Lunar New Year, according to the Chinese calendar. February is the only month that can pass without a full moon. This occurrence is known as a black moon. And I never really knew that. Usually, the only time of the year when I really notice the moon's cycles is when I'm at summer camp, because I'm pretty much out every night, and so stargazing and watching the moon are pretty much something you do every night, at least for me. But yeah, other than that, I don't really notice the moon cycles as much as when I'm there. In the northern hemisphere, February is often associated with winter, while in the southern hemisphere it is typically associated with summer. And I don't think I've ever been to the southern hemisphere, and I've only always experienced February with winter. But I think it's so interesting and weird how the hemispheres affect the seasons. We've got February 12th, which is known as Darwin Day, commemorating the birth of Charles Darwin, the English naturalist who proposed the theory of evolution by natural selection. And I remember so vividly, I was in biology class. I think it was 7th grade, but I'm not really sure. And we just got started learning about evolution. And we had 2 examples. And the one it was about giraffes. And the question was something along the lines of, do you think they have long necks because over the time they trained their necks to be as long as they are today, or Some had longer necks than the others, and the ones with the shorter necks went extinct. And I thought back in the day that they trained their necks to be as long as they are. And then I learned that that was far from reality. And I think that's why whenever I think about Charles Darwin and his theory of evolution, I always think back to when I was sitting in that class. Because I don't know when I developed that idea, but it just shifted my perspective so much that I still remember it. I don't know. Uh, the Winter Olympic Games are often held in February, showcasing various winter sports such as skiing, snowboarding, and ice hockey. Usually, a lot of Germans go skiing or snowboarding in their winter holidays, but I've never gone. But I have to say, it does look very fun, and I'm looking forward to doing it one day. And lastly, we've got February is sometimes referred to as fever month due to the flu season peak in many parts of the world. And to that I can say I've listened to Andrew Huberman's podcast. Shout outs to him. But so apparently due to the cold season, a lot of people stay indoors, and this means that the concentration of people is higher indoors than during the rest of the months because it's cold outside and everybody wants to stay inside. And this leads to more germs being indoors. And so it's especially important to wash your hands on a regular basis, especially if you were indoors with other people. So what I always do is whenever I come back home, the first thing I do is wash my hands. And the way that you get ill is if you have germs on your hands and you rub your eyes That's how it gets transported. So, whatever you do, try not to touch your eyes or face in general. And always keep your hands clean. I also like to drink a lot of tea, or I recommend ginger and some lemon paired with some honey. And since it gets dark very early, it's always nice to have some sort of a source for warm light. So you know how there's like colder light, which is more white, and warmer light is more yellow. I like the warmer light more because it's cozier. Or what you could also use is some candles. There's also some nice scented ones. But anyway, I hope you could enjoy the video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Or a good night. If you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you did. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Take it easy. Love you.